working, that would be fantastic. I'm so excited you all are here. This is so exciting. We were just talking about it in our RBD meeting last night, and we're really excited that we have to get to have our first chat with you all. If you don't know who I am, I'm Claire. I am the coordinating officer for Northern Relations for PACURH, which is a very fancy way of saying that I handle recruitment and retention, which is another fancy way of saying that I basically help you all affiliate. So that's why we're all here tonight, because affiliation is fun and it's great, and we all love that you want to affiliate with us. So with that being said, I believe I sent this out to most of you and we posted it on our Facebook pages. But I thought I'd share it with you all just in case. We can go through it if you want. You all can ask questions at any time. This is really just for you all to get feedback and let me and the rest of the RBD help you figure out any affiliation snafus or whatnot. And yeah, that's about it. So we'll just get started kind of. So as some of you, all of you hopefully know, we had some website malfunctions, so to speak, last year within NACUR and PACURH. And so because of those malfunctions, the whole RFI system crashed, as well as affiliating and all that. So the NIC is redoing all of that, which is why this year's system is a little different than the last year's, or the last however many years. But it is pretty straightforward, which is why I typed up the guide so y'all can figure it out. So you just log on to NACUR, you select that affiliate button up at the top, and join us. Pretty obvious. Some of you may remember that we did legislation this past year to get rid of the distinction between large and small schools, and that passed, but because we passed it at NACUR, it won't go into effect until the next fiscal year, so 2016 to 2017, which means that for this year, you all will still have to pick either large or small school for affiliation. You will have to create a new account because, again, that system was wiped, and so we don't have any of your information in our system. You can create a password, or use your RHA's email if you have one. It's the easiest way to help it transfer over years. If you don't, use your NCC email, and your host institution can figure out how to transfer all of those accounts. It goes through things like, hold on, pause. Can you all see the Zoom group chat that is on top of the PDF, or is that just on my screen? Because if you all can see that, then that means I'm covering up the affiliation page and I can't actually see what you all are looking at. If somebody wants to chat, that would be great. No chat? Perfect. Thank you. Love you. Love you too, Katie. All right. So, well, then that's just a problem for me. Okay, I'll move it. Oh, look, I can see your faces. Oh, there we go. All right. Figuring out Zoom, everybody. Welcome to RBD Tech Struggles. Okay. After that, yeah, so all of your basic information, things like your school address and all that. Typically, it's better if you can use like your housing office, just because then any official mail that we have to send you will get sent to the housing department and they can forward it to you. I know some of you have offices on your campuses. You can use those if you want, but I think it tends to work better if you send it just to your host institution's housing department. That way they can handle official business and all of that. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of questions on the F to answer, so they're not hard. Just make sure you're giving yourself enough time. You all shouldn't be leaving affiliation till like the day before anyway, but just make sure you're giving yourself plenty of time to fill out those questions when you do decide to sit down and do your affiliation. If you haven't already. If you have already, great, you're awesome. If you haven't, you're awesome too. It's fine. Moving on. Okay, so the RFI, that's what we've been getting a lot of questions about. And again, that system is down, so we don't have that database for you all to look at. But fun fact, if you have submitted a bid within the last year, you can use that bid as your RFI, which is super handy. It definitely saves you some work. And those can be positional bids if somebody from your host institution bid for a regional board position or even a NACUR level board position, I believe. Somebody correct me if that's wrong. And also any award bids or anything like that. Even if you did not win at the regional or NACUR level, you can absolutely still submit an award bid, like for Building Block or NRHH Chapter of the Year or something like that. So that's super cool. I learned that last year, and it made my world very happy. But if you're not using one of those, you kind of have to write your own, which seems a little daunting. I had to do it once and I was scared, but it's really not that bad. And we have, even though the RFI is not set up, we as an RBD and as just a region have resources for you. So if you want to reach out to your fellow NCCs and be like, hey, I don't have any examples to go off of, it'd be really great if you could send something my way. You're more than welcome to do that on the Facebook page or email anybody else whose contact information you have. Also, please email me. I've had a couple of people do that already, and I've sent you some examples that I have, which is super great because then it makes me feel like I'm doing my job, which makes me really excited. So if you ever need examples or anything like that, I have a couple floating around that I could send you. We also have just a generic, like, how to write an RFI page that is put into an RFI format, if that makes sense. So it kind of tells you, it doesn't provide like a fake program description or anything, but it shows kind of what's supposed to be included on each page. So that's good for like policy things like that you should also be checking for. One of the most important things for the RFI, as well as your NIHH constitution and list of NIHH members, is that it's in PDF form. If it's in Word form or Publisher or anything like that, they won't accept it. That does not meet policy. So I would recommend not making a PDF until you're absolutely done with it. But that being said, that is a very important part. So you want to make sure you do that because otherwise they won't accept it. And you want them to accept your RFI. So you should do that. But really quickly, Katie doesn't know I'm doing this, but I'm going to turn it over to her for a minute if she wants to talk about the NIHH constitutions.
Hello, everyone. So the NRHH Constitution, the biggest changes from last year is the changes of pillar language to values. So that means removing anything that talks about scholastics in that sense. And also having the member removal policy and the transfer policy. And those are things that I've noticed in some constitutions that I've reviewed so far, that those have been missing. And everything is laid out in the Constitution checklist, and I believe everybody should have that. And if you don't, if your school doesn't, your chapter doesn't, please let me know and I can send that to you. And you can just compare the Constitution that you have to that checklist and make sure that everything matches up. And then with the RFI that gets sent to the NIC, and then I will review it. And if there's anything that doesn't meet policy, it's not a huge deal, and I will let you know with specific details on how to fix it, and then you can resubmit it, and I'll let you know when everything has been approved. And then the other thing that you will send is a list of your active members, and it's literally just a list of names, so that's pretty simple. But if you do have any questions, please let me know, and I will yield back to Claire.
Oh, that was perfect. Thank you, Katie. So the kind of last big thing before paying is so that RFI, the NIH's constitution, and the list of members should all be sent to the NIC in one email. And that just goes to nic@nacurd.org. However, if you have any questions about affiliation that for whatever reason you don't want to ask the RBD, you can email them at nic.affiliations@nacurd.org. And they'll help you with maybe more specific, tech questions or something like that that you might need to ask them. But with that being said, on number 10, there's this giant paragraph that's in quotes because I took it right from their website. But it's a very specific way that they want you to label that email and label those files. And so, again, it's kind of a policy thing. The email maybe not so much, but if you don't have the correct subject line, they might miss it in their inbox or might not think it's valid or something like that. So you want to make sure that you're following all of their instructions, which are on the website too. But that paragraph does specify your institution name, blah, 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 all of that needs to be included in the subject. And yes, we can send this out over the listserv. We've posted it on a couple of different Facebook pages and sent it in a couple of emails, but those have been to specific individuals. So I will make sure I think Mason already has this, so Mason can maybe send that out to you all over the listserv. But yes, we can send that out. Thanks for asking. that is the last kind of big specific thing. Oh, Mason, you're the best. So the end is just you can pay via a check or a PayPal account now. We have PayPal, which is super exciting. People are really excited about that. The invoices on the W-9 forms are on that forms and invoices. Mason, you're sending the PDF that I'm sharing right now, just the how to affiliate thing to all the peeps. And adding yourself to the listserv. Daniel's not here, is he? Daniel's doing something different with the listserv. Froggy Friday, yay! Mason or Katie or Robert or somebody, does anybody know how Daniel is doing the Froggy Friday listserv?
Yes, I can speak to listserv. Because of website troubles and because we don't have our website link up yet, our website is live, but it's not the PACURH.NACURH.org URL, it's some other URL. And until we get that fixed, the way that we're doing like putting yourself on the listserv right now is just emailing Daniel, the COCT, directly. So I will put his email address in here. There. So if you could just email PA_communications@NACURH.org with your name and your institution, then that email address will be added to our listserv. And I know that's kind of a roundabout way of doing that, and I apologize, but until we get our website back up and running, that is the system that we are using at the moment. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and type an X in the chat box now, and I can answer those about listservs. Okay, seeing none, I'll yield it back to Claire.
Thanks, Mason. You're the best. So yeah, all those invoices and W-9s, just official forms and all that jazz. Those do need to be filled out and sent in. They're under that forms and invoices tab on affiliation. As far as paying goes, you can pay at the PACURH conference if you need to. You just need to affiliate before that affiliation deadline, which I should know this. This is really bad. I don't know it off the top of my head. Mason, they have to be affiliated just before the conference, correct?
Correct. So in order to be affiliated with the region, you have to affiliate by the time that I gavel in the conference on Friday, Friday, November 13th. By the time I gavel in the conference, which will be roughly 7:13 p.m. if we all go to schedule. I don't know if it's actually to be 7:13 p.m., but probably sometime after 7 p.m. because that's when opening ceremonies start. So anytime before then, you just need to affiliate. So if you just need to get all of your things in, you don't have to pay. You must just you can bring your affiliation check to PACURH with you, but you have to have all the online components done before then, so that we can make sure we can get you affiliated. C-Sun, is that a question for me? You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Or type. You can type a question if you want to.
Type. Choose your own adventure.
Where's our Jeopardy music, Mason?
I know, I gotta cue it up. Hold on. Uh, 15 minutes of Jeopardy music. Perfect.
That is so fantastic.
Okay, actually, we'll just continue on. C-Sun, if you want to post your question or unmute your mic at any point. Is that C-Sun's question? Froggy Friday, I'll just answer it anyway. Froggy Friday is the once-a-week newsletter that the region sends out. So when we say listserv, what we mean is email lists. So if you email PA_communications@NACURH.org and tell them that you want to be put on our email list or listserv, then you will get every Friday an email update from the region that has all kinds of helpful information, like when these meetings are, and task force applications, and all kinds of helpful things. So that's what the Froggy Friday is. Sorry for not explaining that. You make the checks payable to NACURH Incorporated. Yes. We are working on our constitution. We will be able to affiliate with our constitution in the works. Yes, the only constitution that you need to submit for affiliation is your NRHH constitution. So RHA constitutions don't need to be submitted for you to affiliate. So you can be doing all kinds of work on your RHA constitution and you can still affiliate. Cool. And Robert, nobody else can see that question because it's to me personally, but it is recording. On my screen, it says stop recording, so I'm assuming that it is recording now, and so that these words that I am saying to you will be living on in infamy for forever and for always.
Yeah, Mason, I have the little red dot on my screen, so.
Yes, we're doing it. Good work, team.
All right.
Cool. If there's no other questions for me, I will yield it back to, and Sylvia, Felix, if you have any questions about Froggy Friday, you can feel free to email either PA_communications or PA_director@NCUR.org. We can answer all your questions about the newsletter. Cool. I'll give it back to Claire.
Perfect. Thanks, Mason. You're just this wonderful well of information. I love it. Woo! Okay. And then last but not least, email us if you have any questions. Oh, look at that. Okay. So, with that being said, I'm actually going to turn it over to questions, but just kind of anything, I mean, really anything, but specifically affiliation. That's kind of why we're here. So, oh yes, you should, yeah, your oh, I just broke my pen. That's fine. Your constitution does need to be the same date as your affiliation, because it's technically like part of the whole affiliation package, so to speak. It's kind of just one big sandwich, and the NRHH constitution is one of the loaves of bread or something. You understand. You're all smart people. I'm sure you understand. Okay. So that being said, I am going to open it up to questions. Okay. You all asking questions already. I'm just not paying attention. Okay. Who do we need to send it to? What exactly are you referring to? Are you referring to the RFI, the Constitution? What, Christina, what are you referring to? If you're talking about the Constitution, Katie does need to see that, because she needs to review it for policy. If you are looking for the Constitution, yes. So initially, Katie, correct me if I'm wrong, but initially you need to send your Constitution into Katie so she can review it. No, it just gets sent to the NIC. Okay, never mind. Don't listen to me because I don't know what I'm talking about. But Katie does. And so you send everything into the NIC, and then they will send it to Katie. Hey, she's nodding. There we go. They will send it to Katie, and then she will review it from there and let you know if you meet policy or not. Is that Southern Oregon University? Go for it. Unless you're USC, in which case, my bad. Where's the best place to find minutes? To refer to this, are you talking about the affiliation document that I'm sharing? And you are Southern California. Okay, sorry. All I see is University of Southern, so my bad. When you say, okay, minutes to refer back to the affiliation document, is that what you're talking about, USC? Or the chat right now, and in general for all the meetings. So we will be sharing minutes. Mason, correct me if I'm wrong, but all minutes from our chats are available for everybody, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we'll be sharing our minutes over the Froggy Friday newsletters, as well as publishing on our website, which I realize the link doesn't necessarily work, but we will publish the link on our Facebook page as well, so that you will have access to that. And so they will be published online through the Froggy Fridays and then also on our website so that you can get access to them whenever you want.
Perfect. There you go. Mason with his well of knowledge. Let me see. Really quickly, Christina, the NIC is the NCUR Information Center, and so they're in charge of affiliation and all of that fun stuff. And so they kind of keep it all together, keep everything running, so to speak. They're one of our 2 offices that are included in NCUR. So we're 8 regions and 2 offices. And the NIC is, again, that information center, and they deal with affiliation. When we're at conferences, they're the ones who give us our voting placards and all of that and make sure that we are all up to standards and whatnot. And the other office is the NSRO, and they're in the NCUR Services and Recognition Office, and they have all of those T-shirts and pins and jackets and lots of other fun things. And they do a lot more than that too, but that's kind of on the front what they are. The affiliation document that's on the screen, USC, we will send that out over the listserv for you. And it's been posted to a couple Facebook pages, but we'll blast it and make sure it's out there for everybody to see. Let's see, who's next? I'm scrolling through. Ashley, did you have a question? If we use a bid, how do we need to change the format for turning it in? I don't believe you actually do really need to change the format, because if you submitted a bid last year, you should have been reviewed for policy back when you submitted it. So Mason, correct me if I'm wrong with your well of knowledge. But if you have submitted a bid that was then seen at a conference, that means that it met policy, which means that it should meet policy for an RFI submission. Yes?
Yes, if your bid was submitted and it was accepted at that level, the bid will meet policy. The only difference when submitting a bid to your RFI file is that you must put a new cover page on your bid. So it's not a cover page that says bid for program of the year. It's a cover page that says University of wherever, resource file index 2015-2016 affiliation year. So that cover page can go on top of your old cover page. Like, you can include that old cover page, that's fine. But you need a new cover page that says resource file index, your institution name, and then the year 2015-2016. Cool. Does that make sense? Awesome. Cool. Back to Claire.
Thanks, Mason. Let's see, who is next? I'm scrolling. Cal Poly Pomona, what do you got? Can we use first-time delegate scholarships? Ooh, that is a good question. I don't believe so. No, Mason's shaking his head. No, you cannot. Sorry, it is not an official bid by PACURH standards or NIC standards or whichever standards we're using. Yeah, sorry about that. It's a bummer. But RFIs, if you don't have a bid, they're super easy to write. You can include lots of pictures, and then by the time you're actually done writing, it's not that far or not that much text. I mean, it is, because obviously I want to explain your program, but it's not like writing a 20-page college essay. USC, did you have another question? I love how I keep pointing at the screen, even though I can't actually see any of you. USC's active members. Should we send a current active member list? Katie, that's a question for you.
Sorry, I'm rereading the question. Yes, so send the current active list that you have right now, and then we can always update it as you get new members, but it's more about what members you currently have when you affiliate, and then obviously chapters gain and change members throughout the year. So then for the next affiliation year, then that member list will be different. Does that make sense? Awesome. I yield back to Claire.
Oh, you guys are so great with your just wealth of knowledge, one of those words. I'm in college, everybody. It's fine. Okay, moving on. Any other questions about anything affiliation, any PACURH funsies, anything else you all want to ask? What is an RFI? Oh, such a great question. Okay, so the RFI stands for the Resource File Index, and essentially what it is, or what it was, is this giant electronic vault of knowledge. No, it's this vault of essentially program submissions and ideas and all of that. And so typically, if you're not submitting a bid, typically an RFI is essentially an essay on a program that your university has done. Other RBD, feel free to jump in at any time. But so it's essentially an essay on a program, and you're describing what the program is, how it benefits students on your campus, like what purpose it serves, why you do it repeatedly, if you do it repeatedly, other things like that. And so in the past, it's been used as a way for people to log on and get program ideas and just kind of share information with other institutions who are affiliated. So that's kind of cool. Anybody want to add anything else? RBD, I'm looking at you. No, I'm seeing shaking heads. Does anybody want to add? No? Okay. It's essentially just an essay describing a program. Pretty much what it is. But yeah, you can submit bids if you have submitted those in the past. They qualify because that's cool. Wendy, what is your question? You all can unmute your microphones to ask them too. You don't have to type them. But you can more than welcome to type them if you want to. Yeah, so Wendy's question was if we could see the RFIs from other schools. That is what that big vault that I was talking about was. That was all of the RFIs from all the schools who have essentially ever affiliated. But that is one of those system crashes that we had since it was online. And so that big vault is currently unavailable. But like I was saying earlier, we as an RBD and kind of as a region have a few examples floating around. I have one that I did for my host institution a couple years ago. Other people I know have some. Other people have bids and things like that. So if you do want examples of that, you're more than welcome to ask the RBD for those. But the big RFI as a whole is, to the best of my knowledge, currently unavailable. Mason, go for it.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about the RFI being available. The NIC, which is the Nakura Information Center, which is the office that does all of our technology things for Nakura as an organization, is working on getting the RFI back up and running. We do still have the RFI, so all of our files are still there. It's just that the database got corrupted, and so they're trying to parse everything out and get everything back up and running. But all hope is that it will be up before the second term of this year. So we're hoping that we can get it back up and running. It's just a lot of data to sift through because we've been collecting things for over, I think, 12 years now. So there's 12 years worth of 400 schools submitting RFIs. So you can imagine that's quite a bit of information. And so they're just trying to work through getting everything back put into a usable database so that we can give that all out to you again. So that's just that. So I'll give it back to Claire.
There goes Mason again. That's why he's director, folks, because he knows things. Okay, any other questions about PACURH things or Froggy Fridays or RFIs or affiliating or lunch? CSUN, what do you got? Also, no question is a dumb question, so anything. We have access to a sample. Yes, we have an example, like that generic example of sorts that I was talking about that's like part instruction manual, part RFI example. And Mason, did you post that to the PACURH page or was that just the RBD page?
I believe it was just the RBD page. I know I've emailed it to 2 of you. Okay. So we can post that to the PACURH page.
Okay, so we'll post that and email it out. Maybe, you know what we'll do, Mason? If we could have this affiliation PDF and the example RFI thing together in one email over the listserv, that would probably be very much appreciated. Thumbs up, love it. Okay, I'm just trying to limit all the emails in your inboxes.
They'll both go out on the Froggy Friday this week.
Oh, even better. See, that's why we have the Froggy Friday, everybody, because it does things. And as far as an RHA for NRHH, Katie, are you asking if you just have an NRHH, or are you asking if NRHH has to affiliate in addition to RHA? If that makes sense. Is it the same process? So essentially this is all one big, like I said, sandwich. So if you have an RHA, your NCC is the one affiliating, and so that's kind of an RHA thing, but you do have to submit your NRHH constitution and NRHH list. So it's all one package together. You don't have to go through affiliation separately for RHA and for NRHH. If you only have an NRHH, then you would essentially fill out that affiliation process all on your own, but it is one big package deal, if that answers your question, Susan. Christina. So if we do not have an NCC, do we fill out for RSA or NRHH or just one? That is a good question. So typically the NCC is the person who obviously fills out affiliation. I know at my host institution, the vice president, or I guess the associate director now of RHA will take over any position that is not filled. So if you didn't, at our school, if we didn't have an NCC, that AD of RHA would fill out affiliation. But essentially it is up to you who specifically fills out who fills out all that information on the affiliation page. But again, you would mostly fill out the RHA or the RSA information at your school. And then again, do your NRHH constitution and member list and all of that. It's not too complicated. I think you would have to fill it out for your RSA, and then include your NRHH information in there if that makes sense. Sorry, it's a little all over the place. It's a little confusing because some people have both organizations, some people only have one, some people call it different things, some people don't have an NCC yet, so it's kind of all floating around. But just do the best that you can, and yeah, as long as somebody from your organization is filling out the affiliation information and you have everything that's on that checklist, you should be good to go. CSUN. We are changing our constitution. Yes, so you only have to submit your NRHH constitution, not your RHA constitution. So if that one's under construction still and you're working on it, that's totally fine. That does not need to be completed, but your NRHH constitution does need to be completed and approved by Katie before PACURH. So that's nifty, don't forget about that. But yes, RHA constitutions are totally fine. You can be working on those. Anything else? Jeff, go for it. I'm sorry, I'm just saying whatever pops up first on the screen. Some of you are your organization, some of you are your names. We're just rolling with it. It's totally fine. The pay process. That is a good question. I personally have not gone through the pay process because I don't affiliate as myself. But from what I understand, when I did it in the past, it's pretty easy. They have a paper invoice, or not a paper invoice, they have a PDF of an invoice on the page. And so like my host institution, I would email that invoice to our accounts person in housing, and then they would write a check, or they would cut a check, and then we would send that check into the address on the invoice. So you can do that. You can take a check again with you to PACURH if you needed to, if that's the way you wanted to pay. You can pay online using PayPal, but if you do need official forms and records, those are on the affiliation website. And so that's super simple because it has the exact monetary amount on it, and you just select large or small school. It'll tell you exactly how much to pay and where to send it and how to send it and all of that. And then it also helps to have that to, again, give to your housing department or whoever at your institution is helping you pay for that. Does that answer your question? Yes, the invoice will have all the information you need to write a check. It'll tell you who to make it out to, how much, and then who to mail it to if that's what you're choosing to do. If you're choosing to pay in person, then great, you don't need to mail it. If you're choosing to PayPal, again, you don't need to mail it. But it will have all the information on there. It's pretty basic, but feel free to email me or Brian, since he is the Southern Relations CO, if you have any questions about that. USC.
Hi, so I know this is slightly redundant, but I just wanted to confirm that if we are affiliating as RSG and NRHH, it's one single payment, correct?
Yes, it is. It is all one big package deal. So yeah, it's the same with like filling out the forms and paying. You only pay once. You don't have to pay twice if you have both an RHA of sorts and an NRHH. It's just one fee, either large or small school, depending on how many beds you have at your institution. But yeah, it is just one fee.
Thank you.
Any other questions? These are great because you guys are testing how much I actually know about this process, which I've been over these forms a lot, but it's good because there's lots I don't know. Christina, go for it. One affiliation submission per school for both organizations. So for Sonoma State, that's just one affiliation submission. Yes, that is correct. So let me scroll up. Step number step number 6. The only thing I said about it was that there's a lot of questions, but there are going to be questions about your RHA or RSA or ICC or whatever you call it. There'll be questions about that you'll want to answer, and then also questions about NRHH. It'll all be in there, and they'll ask you things like, I actually don't know because I didn't go through the questions, but things like where your address for your institution, I think how long you've been affiliated, or I don't know. It's a bunch of just basic questions, just trying to get information on your institution, and you'll submit those for both your RSA and your NRHH. Registering a ghost NCC. I don't know about that. Mason, have you heard anything about a ghost NCC for affiliation?
I don't know about a ghost NCC.
I was
It
just going
doesn't
to say that.
have to be the NCC that fills out the school registration form. I don't believe. So whatever position you hold as like on your campus as your organization, if you're going to be like leading the delegation or whatever, you can fill out your school registration form. And just so we know that there's 2 separate registration forms, there's the one that's school specific, and then each individual that is going to the conference and has to fill out their own registration form after that. So you can fill out the school registration form to make sure that Sonoma State is registered for the conference. Is that what we're talking about? Yes?
Sonoma, are you asking about, okay, you're asking about conference, not affiliation.
Perfect. Yeah, so for the conference, no worries. That's totally fine. I'm down to answer questions about anything at all times.
Mason was still on top of it.
Yeah, so it doesn't even need to be like a ghost NCC. It's just somebody from your institution has to register your school. So you need to go on and register your school, Sonoma State, for PACURH 2015, and then individual applications for individual registration will be sent out after that, and you'll need to fill out that registration form for every single person that's going to the conference, including whoever is going to be the NCC or you or your advisor as well. Your advisor needs to fill those out as well. Can we do ghost delegates for individual registration? You won't need to. The whole point of that is that you can fill that out afterwards. Like once you register your school, then you're registered. That's good, yay. Then the individual registration comes after that so that you can wait until you know who's going. I'm assuming you're not bringing ghosts to the conference. So when you know who is coming to the conference, then they can fill out that individual registration. Cool, awesome. Yeah, so you can wait. It doesn't have to be done at the same time. They're 2 completely separate forms. So you just need to go do the school registration. And then once you know who is individually going to the conference, then they can fill out that registration. Does that make sense? Sorry if I talk really fast. Did that make sense, Christina? Awesome. Okay. If you have any other problems, feel free to email me or the PACURH registration chair at PACURH2015@gmail.com, and just say registration in the subject line, and they can respond to you and help you get through the registration process as well. So feel free to email us with questions at any time if any of it is confusing or not working for you. Okay? Cool. Okie doke. I will hand it back over to Claire.
Nah, thanks, Mason. Okay. Any more questions? I'm just going to keep asking until there are really long, awkward silences and no questions. Okay, Jeff. After we submit the RFI, our institution constitution, and our constitution needs some changes, do we resubmit everything or just the constitution? Just your constitution. You do not have to go through the entire form all over again. You do not have to redo your RFI. And you don't have to redo your list unless, if your RFI doesn't meet policy, then you would have to change it. But if your constitution is the only thing that doesn't meet policy, then Katie will let you know. And then you can resubmit your constitution. You don't have to go through the entire process all over again, because that would be no fun. No one wants to do that. Does it answer your question, Jeff? Are you asking so who you're sending the constitution to? So that, along with everything else, goes in that one email to the NIC. And that email address, I will type it all up for you all, is just nic@ncur.org. Oh, Katie, you're just so on top of it. I love it. So that's who you'll send everything into. And make sure that if you're looking at the affiliation guide on number 10, it's again got that paragraph that just very explicitly tells you how they want the subject line of the email to look, and then how they want you to title those PDFs once you've saved them. Just to make sure, because it's a lot easier for them to keep everything organized by year and by school and all of that. And somebody else had a question. I'm scrolling. Sylvia, are we going to have these chats regularly? Yes. So these are Jeremiah's Corner chats. And these are every, is it second or third Monday? Is that a 3? That's a 2. Oh, you guys are the best. Every second Monday. So every first Monday of the month, we have our regional chats, which are for anybody and everybody, largely NCCs, but anybody can come who wants to. They're cool. And we talk about all sorts of important, really fun things. You get to see our beautiful faces, listen to Mason play Jeopardy music. It's a grand old time. We love them. You should come to those. And then Jeremiah's Corner chats are then the week after that, and the topics vary. So this one is obviously very specifically on affiliation, but as they go along, we'll have tons of different topics like, I don't know, RHA and NRHH relations, or how to present a program at a conference, or bidding for a position, or something like that. And so we'll have these chats for you all, hopefully once a month, and we'll have some different topics to go off of. Hannah, what is your question? Are the bids being seen at PACURH, POI, PACURH 2016, and Advisor, or are there others? I believe that is it, correct? Katie's nodding. I'm going with yes, that is. There will also be lots of legislation. There's been a lot of things that we as an RBD have been talking about, so you'll see some of that, but those are the only official bids that are being seen. Sylvia, the first Monday of each month is the regional chat. The second Monday of each month is the Jeremiah's Corner chats. And then third Monday is NRHH chats, correct, Katie? Yeah, look at me being on top of things. So yeah, we try to keep it somewhat consistent for you all, which is why we use those Monday nights. And they're usually at 9 o'clock because some people have night classes and things like that, and we all just want to make sure that as many people can be here as possible. All right, any other questions? Again, waiting. Christina, yes, love it. What's your question? Where can we find policies? That is a great question. Mason, where right now, with all of our websites being a little all over the place, can we just governing documents, correct? Yes?
Yeah, it would be the governing documents. They're on our website. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I'm so sorry. Here we go. I know this isn't perfect. I'm doing my best. There it is. Oh, nope, I lied. There it is. All right. So that link there is to our website, which has in their resources folder, or the resources tab at the top, all of our governing documents and previous minutes, which were from last year. But the Jeremiah's Corner tab and Froggy Fridays and all of those as well from this year will be going in there as well. So that's our link. I will make sure to make this link part of our information on our Facebook page, so this is super easy to get to. But all of our information can be found on that website. And it's green, so it's PACURH colors. That's exciting.
But yeah, Christina, to answer your question, the governing documents for PACURH have everything, every award bid and anything like that is in there. So if you're looking to check policy on those. Katie, where can they find policy for their NRHH constitutions?
So I have a constitution checklist, and it's a NACUR-wide, so all NRHH chapters within NACUR are following. And if you haven't received that yet, let me know. You can put your email in the chat, and I will email it to you. And I yield back to Claire.
Oh, Katie's an angel. This is why I have a great team, people, because they know things that I don't. So yeah, so that'll be, and then that, yeah, email Katie and she'll give you that checklist, and that'll just be how you check policy for your NRHH constitution. But everything else policy is all in the PACURH governing documents, which could take a little while to sort through, but there's a lot of really great information in there, so I highly recommend checking it out. USC, what is your question? The T in Jeremiah T. Frog. Great question. I was explaining this to my mom like 2 hours ago. T, correct me if I'm wrong, which I shouldn't be, but T just stands for the. So it's Jeremiah the Frog is what the T stands for, but it's a lot more trendy to say Jeremiah T. Frog. It just sounds better. But yeah, Jeremiah's cool. We love Jeremiah. Great question. Oh, look, see, you all are so smart. Yeah, it's not a big secret. It's just that. But again, more trendy. So, and we're all about being trendy at PACURH, which is why our mascot is named after a song. Anyway, other questions? Anything else? Affiliation or otherwise? I'm just gonna wait for a really long, giant, awkward pause. Here's my pause. Still pausing. Oh, thanks, Josh. You too. Anything else? Okay. That was not quite as long of a pause as I was going to give you all, but it was a lot more awkward than I was anticipating. So, if you have any questions, speak now. Otherwise, thank you all for coming so much. This was fantastic. I'm so glad I got to chat with you all. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email anyone on the RBD. If you're looking for affiliation specifically and you are in the northern subregion, which is above San Francisco, correct? Somewhere in there. The line's a little weird, but I believe it's above San Francisco. If you're roughly above San Francisco, send me an email. If you're below San Francisco, email Brian. And our emails are... That's Brian's, PA_Southern. Oh, not .org. That's totally wrong. At NACURH.org is what that should say. That's, oh my goodness, you guys, it's late and I'm getting tired. This is what happens. NACURH.org. There we go. All right. And then mine is PA_Northern at NACURH.org. We also both have Facebook pages. So if you're an NCC and you're not part of those Facebook pages, look us up and we will add you. There's also, like Mason was talking about, the general PACURH Facebook page, which is a good thing. Oh, who did I send it to? Oh, I just sent it to Mason. That's awkward. Why did that happen? I don't know, everybody. Hold on. Last try. I told you it's getting late. It's past my bedtime. Southern. That's how you spell Southern. At NACURH.org. That's not how you spell NACURH. Oh my goodness. Struggle bussin' right here, people. All right. There we go. There's Brian's. I bet y'all can hear me typing too, which is great. Okay, there we go. Those are our emails. There's also all the rest of the RBD emails. The NIC went and changed them all, so they're all PA_something. So it's PA_director or NRHH or ADAF or communications or presidents or whatever. Is there a general PACURH? Yes, there is, Jeff. There's a general PACURH Facebook page that will have lots of announcements and fancy fun things on it. Oh, look at Nikki saving the day. So you all should go like that because we have cool things. CSUN. We'll be having points this year. Yes, you asking about ribbit points? Yes, I was going to talk about that. Thank you for reminding me. If you all are here tonight, you do get ribbit points for that, which is exciting. I actually spent a good 3 hours today looking over the list because I've been put in charge of ribbit points, so I'm getting that all organized as we speak. You all will get points for being here tonight. Actually, scratch that. Well, not scratch that, but Katie, do you want to do me a huge favor and post that evaluation link in the chat? That would be so great. I'd do it, but then I'd have to unshare my screen and click on things, and it would just take forever. And we just don't want to do that. So there's an evaluation that if you all fill that out, then we'll be able to see that you filled it out, and then you will get ribbit points. So you should go do that. If you were at the regional chat a couple weeks ago, you will also be getting ribbit points for that. I'm redoing the list, so there are a whole bunch of things you can get ribbit points for, and it's really exciting. And so I will find a way to share that with you all so that you all are aware of that. Also, the earlier you affiliate, I haven't created the exact deadline yet, but I'll find some deadline before affiliation or before PACURH to put in there for you also. If you affiliate earlier, then you'll get bonus points. Again, we'll be doing a lot of the same things. So if you submit a program, if you submit a banner, a display, if you win banner display, if a whole bunch of other fun things. And I'm going to put a lot of questions in the Froggy Friday too. So be on the lookout for those. I believe starting this Friday, I'm going to send Daniel a list of questions to give out to you all. So just make sure that you're on the lookout for all those. And that's all I have on Ribbit Points. They are happening though, and I'm really excited about it. So you should be too, which the all caps awesome I'm taking as you being excited about it. So thank you, Susan. You're cool. Anybody else? Questions, comments, concerns about affiliation, Ribbit Points, life? Mason is a life Buddha. He doesn't know it, but he's a life Buddha. That face was great. Anything else, anybody? No. Okay. In that case, again, thank you all for coming. You're fantastic. I'm sorry I'm melting down a little bit. And I look forward to seeing you all at more chats and, of course, at PACURH, because you all better be at PACURH because we are so excited to see you at PACURH. And, yeah, email us if you have any affiliation questions, and I will talk to you all later. Good night, everybody. Wait, Mason, do I have to end the meeting? Or can you do that? Okay. Oh, look, it's just us.
Oh, my mic was unmuted that whole time? Good thing I didn't say anything inappropriate. Oh my god, it's still recording!